Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. Come on in, sit down. It is time once again because it is season 2, volume 7 of Dreamwave Prelude. We're excited for this, man. It's already into the next year. There's tons of things going on at Dreamwave, and we're excited for it, man. Lots going on. Once again, I am DB. This is the Dreamwave Prelude, and we are the Sit Down Marks podcast. We're available on all those podcast platforms out there, and we'll let you guys know that we got an exciting show for you tonight with the matches from Dreamwave's Livin on a Prayer. Now this one was back February the 7th at the KC Club in LaSalle, Illinois. And man, let me tell you, things are happening in Dreamwave, and right now is the best time to, if you're new to the product and want to check it out, right now is the time to do it, because man, there's a lot going on in Dreamwave, man. I can tell you that, man. And right now we're coming off Livin on a Prayer, the results from February the 7th, and we're all asking ourselves, why, Brittany? Why? The chair shot heard around the world, but we got to talk about everything that happened at Livin on a Prayer. And to do that, let's bring in the green hat guy, Dylan. He sits front row at every Dreamwave show, and Livin on a Prayer delivered, Dylan, did it not?
My gosh, yes, sir. You took the words right out of my mouth. Why, Brittany? Why? Calls herself the face of the franchise player, the center of attention. And, well, she made sure she's the center of attention following February. You had the 8-person, the 4-on-4 elimination, Team Dreamwave versus the Curse elimination rules. It comes down to Bobby Orlando, Connor Hopkins at the end, and a, freshly eliminated Brittany Brooks snicks her nose back in there. Already been eliminated, should have been in the back, comes in with a chair, right to Bobby, right to the GOATest of all time. Why? We have to hear her reasoning. We got to look forward next time we're back at Dreamwave in April. Why, Brittany? What is your reason? What is going on? How could you turn your back on the kids? How could you turn your back on Bobby? Just why, Brittany?
Coming off quite possibly the most shocking moment in Dreamwave history. I mean, we're sitting here talking about it right now. The independent wrestling world is abuzz. We're all asking that same question. This very moment has shaken, the Dreamwave foundations to its core. Like you said, there's a lot of people not happy with Brittany, and, just curious, of the reasonings, but, we'll find out later on. But let's talk about what happened that night on this card. It is available right now on IWTV. That is Independent Wrestling TV. We had a tag team match to lead off the show. It was the Hidden Gems, the challengers AMB and Rafael Quintero, versus the 2-time Dreamwave tag team champions, the Hype, who had just won the titles back in December. Now, this was a super fast, action-packed match, but the tag team champs prevail in this match. And this match was so good that they're going to do it again. They're going to run it back. AMB and Quintero, they wanted another shot at the title, and the Hype was, willing to give it to them because, they respected them that much. But man, it looks like AMB and Quintero might be here to stay in the Dreamwave tag team division. So.
Yeah, it's not very often that you see a match happen and there is a completely clean finish. There was no outside interference. There's no slipping on a banana peel, nothing. The Hype straight up won. And we're getting the rematch because that's how hard Quintero and AMB pushed them. The Hype, they've been kind of the center of the tag division the past year and a half or so, something along those lines. Even when they've not had the titles, they've been squarely in the title picture. But like you said, AMB and Quintero turning some heads, turning the Hype's heads, got people talking about them. The Hidden Gems, they may not be hidden for too long. They made quite the statement and look to up that statement come April.
Yeah, and then we had Becca's championship celebration. Marge, who is Becca's assistant. She put together this big party for Becca. Man was there. He brought her a cake, and all was going well until the celebration is interrupted by former Dreamwave women's champ making her return, and the crowd went crazy over the return of none other than Maggie Lee, and set a match up for later that night. Maggie wanted her rematch, and she's going to get it later that night on the card. But man, Dreamwave faithful was happy to see Maggie back, right?
Man, I think hell froze over. I think that's where we're at. Like, first off, yes, celebration was everything you would expect from Becca.
Right.
Over the top, man, and Marge, and an entourage, and balloons, and a cake. And a cake's going to go perfectly fine when it's in a wrestling ring. What's going to go wrong there?
Yeah.
And Maggie Lee, surprise of all surprises. This crowd used to hate her. These kids used to boo her. Everybody booed her. She shows up. She's high-fiving kids. Like, what is going on? Of course, cake ends up all over the place because why wouldn't it? It's wrestling.
In Man's beard on his face.
Yes, Man
everywhere.
He had that cake on him, pun not intended, but kind of intended. We'll roll with it. And then the match itself, just a fantastic match. Maggie's that longest reigning women's champ, her first shot back at the gold since losing it. And, DB, she had a chance to use the title.
Yeah,
it may have been a DQ, but she had a chance to use the title.
She had a chance to cheat, yeah.
Yeah, stands on her morals, I guess, that she found all of a sudden. Found it was a couple months away.
Maggie here, yeah.
And, it did end up costing her. So,
it did.
Maybe, dirtiest player wins the title,
Yeah,
maybe that's how we go. But Becca retains and still keeps that reign going.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what's next for Maggie, whenever she's back. What does she do now after another title loss? How is she going to rebound? And who's going to be next up to challenge Becca?
Yeah, on Becca, on God for now, man. So we'll kind of have to wait and see how this all ends up playing out. We had a 4-way match for the Dreamwave Uprising Alternative Championship, RJS, with quite possibly one of the most iconic, greatest, longest title runs in Dreamwave history. She put the belt on the line against Kylie Alexa Fallen Gray. And our guest for the night, daughter of Roddy Piper himself, we had Teal Piper in the match, and RJS was able to retain, and and like I said, this run is becoming iconic. And we're gonna come back to that because there was more to this. Let's talk about also part of the Rowdy Club that with Teal Piper was Damos. He was there. He wrestled Christian Rose, and I'll be honest, man. Probably the first time I've ever saw Damos in person, and he is a big man. That dude is big. He can work. He was one of the last trained talents by Roddy Piper, so kind of cool there. But Christian had his hands full. But in the end, Damos was no match for Ride the Lightning, and Christian gets the win. So, but Damos, man, dude looks like a star. He is as big as they come, and I got to talk to him for the show. Super nice. Him and Teal both were very happy to be at Dreamwave. But what were your thoughts on seeing Teal and Damos for the first time?
Yeah, impressed by both of them. You don't get much tougher of a challenge in your Dreamwave debut than having to go in there with Christian Rose, the old Coyote. I mean, it's hard to get much bigger than that.
Cool.
If losing to Christian Rose is no shame. You can make a laundry list of people that have lost in a Dreamwave ring to Christian Rose. And Teal Piper, great showing. Man, that title is just stuck to RJS. Stuck like glue. There's no getting that off of her. Another rear naked choke submission victory. The BJJ RJS over there. Man, I feel like Fallen Gray is like just so close to that title. Seen her get a couple opportunities and just seems just barely slip out of her grasp. She's got a bright future ahead of her. And Kylie Alexa been turning some heads the last couple. She was at women, the Uprising Good as Gold. Falling short to Brittany, and then in the Good as Gold match itself, and then she's another one. I think if she sticks around Uprising Dreamwave, she'll be making her own statement of her own. Gold might be in her future as well. But yeah, man, RJS, first and only alternative Uprising champion.
Speaking of being around Dreamwave for a while, man, we got to talk about Eric Ademia, man. So, this girl's, she's been in uprising matches, she's been in singles matches, and she just can't seem to come out on top. And she came up short again on this night against Lainey Luck, And I was able to talk to Erica. She's tired of coming up short. She's ready to be, the main character, as she says, and she knows that she can't keep losing and letting her fans down. And LaSalle faithful is very much behind her. Lainey even put her over, after the match, talking about, how good she is and how she just needs to keep grinding. But I can see it's starting to break her that she's not, getting those wins and not, being the main character, one of the main characters, so to speak. But it's tough for her. It's tough.
Yeah. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over and get the same results and just be okay. Just be like,
Sure.
Whatever. And, she is in there. She's busting her ass. She's getting better. She's definitely putting up a fight. Just like you said, just keeps coming up short. And, you got to look at her competition also. She's not in there fighting nobodies. This February, the show, she's in there with Lainey Luck, WWEID Women's Champ.
Right.
I've been on record saying she's one of the best in the world. No shame in losing to Lainey Luck. But Erica doesn't want to just keep coming up short to all this great talent. She wants to be the great talent. She wants to be, the main character, as she likes to call herself. And as another one, I'm interested to see what changes she makes. Does she go full Brittany Brooks and start hitting people with chairs? Or is it just, tightening the screws, maybe taking a little different approach? And, maybe the rest of 2026, maybe we see Erica get that big win and maybe she puts a streak together. We'll have to find out.
The Dreamwave alternative title was on the line at Livin on a Prayer. Guy by the name of Cody Lane. He's the Dreamwave alternative champion. I think he's 8-0. He's basically undefeated, at Dreamwave, but he had a little bit bigger of a mountain to climb on this particular night because he wrestled a guy from former WWE superstar, the Masterpiece, Chris Masters. He was still able to come out with the win, but it was what happened post-match is the story here because, Christian and had liquid cooled Christian Rose had been, trying for that alternative title, and just can't quite take it away from Cody. And he had basically run out of any sort of attempts, that he had at the title. So he come out after this match. He had a microphone. He got in there and he told Coco he wanted one more match. And if he doesn't win this time, he will leave Dreamwave Wrestling. So at anniversary, massive. Coco versus Christian, title versus career. We got a lot on the line here. We've seen Coco and Christian mix it up, right? And Coco's just came out on top every time,
Yep.
This time Christian's going to have a lot more to lose. And so the interest of this, just shoots through the roof here because, if Christian takes the 1, 2, 3, he's out of Dreamwave. That's just the way it is. But, if he somehow gets the win this time, then he finally gets that elusive final title that he's been looking for at Dreamwave. But, man, this one's looking really good for anniversary. A lot of high stakes here. A lot of nerves going to be on the line because, you take a pin, you're out. But, Coco, man, there's kind of nothing stopping that train right now,
Man, he is just on fire. Nobody does it like Coco. Just sentoning on everybody. Never met somebody he doesn't want to jump back first on. Just show after show putting on incredible performances. And that's in there with, it doesn't matter if it's a singles match. Doesn't matter if he's in there in a scramble. He finds a way to win. Chris Masters, former WWE superstar, still looks phenomenal, by the way. Still a masterpiece. And, Cody had to fight for it. It wasn't just some old-timer coming in and laying down. Cody had to fight for that win, retain the title. And man, Rose, as soon as that 1, 2, 3 hit, here comes Rose. And it was kind of funny. Cody even took the mic and was like, "No, I know what you're coming out here for, and we're not doing it." But then Rose had just another dynamite fire promo. I had chills sitting in the crowd, just laying it all out.
He's so good at it.
Man, like, that's his career, man. It's not like, he comes up short again and goes back to the back of the line and fights his way back and gets another shot. No, man, that is his career. We put him over already, talking about how he's one of the top guys at Dreamwave. What does a Dreamwave look like without Christian Rose? Like, I don't know that I want to find out.
Yeah,
I don't know that I want to get there.
Yeah, I don't know.
But man, I don't. Seen it. Does he get by Cody though? I don't know. Like, we've seen him come up just short in scrambles and in a singles match, and they're going to run it back. But I'm afraid Cody might just have Rose's number.
Well, it's definitely been that way so far. So unless something changes in April, we might be saying goodbye to Christian. So we'll see. But let's get to that main event, man. It was a 4-on-4 survival of the fittest elimination match. The Curse versus Team Dreamwave. The Curse being Damian Deschain, Amina Belmont, Stephen Wolf, and Connor Hopkins versus Bobby Orlando, Team Dreamwave, Hartenbauer, Channing Thomas, and Brittany Brooks. Now, let's get towards the end when everything starts happening. Yeah. Eliminations are happening. Hartenbauer gets eliminated by Stephen Wolf off a low blow. We're down to 2 versus 2. Connor and Amina versus Bobby and Brittany. Brittany eliminates Amina. Connor then eliminates Brittany. And then it's Bobby versus Connor, the final 2, right? And Brittany jumps in the ring, Brittany Brooks, and just as, she's going to make the save with the chair to prevent Connor from using a spike on Bobby, the infamous spike that Connor, likes to pull out on occasion. Brittany hits Bobby Orlando with the chair, and the Curse wins when Connor pins Bobby. Brittany, now the face of the Dreamwave women's division, the visual of her hitting Bobby was kind of hard to watch to me. You know what I mean? She's always been at the top of Dreamwave. She's a big face in our company, and we're not going to hear from Brittany until Anniversary. But I mean, honestly, what can she say to take out all of the shock that we're already endearing with this? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I can't believe it. That night there was a hush that came across the crowd. There were kids crying, adults with their jaws wide open, me being one of them. To me, kind of a defining top 5 moment in Dreamwave history. Just, if I had to pick one person I thought would never, ever, ever do anything like that, it would be Brittany. But I just, we all don't understand right now. We need answers. April can't get here quick enough. But Dylan, you were sitting front row. You were setting, you saw this happen, firsthand, man. Give me your thoughts real quick.
Yeah, we kind of touched on it at the top. Franchise player. This is Team Dreamwave. Like Hartenbauer, Bobby, Channing Thomas, Brittany Brooks. You could not put together a better Team Dreamwave encompassing what Dreamwave stands for, what Dreamwave is. Those are the people you're supposed to count on. Those are the people we depend on. That's the people that us, the fans, look up to. And man, one swing of the chair, like all of our hope and faith in Brittany is just gone right out the door. And she had, since she came back from injury, she left on top of the world, Dreamwave champ. She comes back, has to vacate the title, comes back, wins good as gold, but she did fail to win back the title. She did fail against RJS. Is this kind of what we talked about with Erica a little bit earlier? Just, did she just hit that breaking point? Was this elimination in Feaster? Oh my gosh, I'm all over the place. In February, Survival of the Fittest. That's what it was called. Was her pinfall loss there? Was that just the breaking point? Was that too much? We don't know because the curse looked shocked too. She's from the chair. Connor wasn't like, oh yeah, my plan came together. Haha. He didn't know what was going on. We don't know if Brittany has joined the curse. We don't know if Brittany's invited to join the curse. We don't know if Brittany's going off on her own. We don't know what's going on. But I do have to point out, DB, it's going to get overlooked easily because of how big the Brittany shock was. Channing Thomas, your Dreamwave world champion, Bobby Orlando, your Dreamwave good as gold holder, both pinned 1, 2, 3 center of the ring by Connor Hopkins.
Right.
That's a statement in itself, getting slightly overlooked because of how, again, just out of right field the Brittany turn was. But the former champ himself, that's 2 big pinfalls there for Mr. Connor Hopkins, building that momentum going forward.
Yeah, and going forward, anniversaries coming up in April, so we'll be talking about that on Volume 8, the matches that have already been announced and how all these are just going to play out and to see how all this happens. But, coming out of this February show, like I've never felt more uneasy. I've never felt more unassured, and I've never felt more weird about something that has happened. I still can't believe it. It's just just something just kind of wild to me. But go check it out right now, independentwrestling.tv. And so before we move on here, let's bring in the third man. Here he is, good old Primo. What's going on, buddy?
What is up, fellas?
Hey, man, coming in today, I want to talk about After Dark.
That's right. Show. That's right. We cannot forget Friday, March 6th. We have After Dark Wrestling presenting Probable Cause. And as we all know, that's the 21 and over show. So everybody enjoy that. That's going to be great. That's, once again, After Dark Wrestling presenting Probable Cause, March 6th. Tickets available now.
Yeah, you can get those tickets at dreamwavewrestling.com. And this one's for the adults. This one's, don't bring your kids to this one. Leave the kiddies at home. Get a babysitter that night. This is a little After Dark adult wrestling, if you will.
If you will.
Right? If you will. All right, let's get to the show tonight, man. But before we do, man, we got to talk about a little card subject to change. I know a lot of you guys are tuning in tonight because you're expecting to see a match between Matt Hatter and Ezio Orlandi. Unfortunately, that match is not going to happen. Ezio has decided to take a break from wrestling, but also Matt Hatter has he came up with an injury at Zawa Live last weekend. So I had a chance to catch up with Matt and talk about everything that had happened. It's DB here, and I am backstage. In wrestling, it's always card subject to change. And tonight, we're supposed to have a huge match between Ezio Orlandi and Matt Hatter. Matt has unfortunately got hurt, and that match is not going to happen tonight. But Matt, you got hurt over the weekend at Zawa Live. Tell us exactly what happened, how long are you going to be out, and when can we expect to see you back?
Well, first and foremost, I know everybody here is disappointed that the match isn't going to happen, so I guess I'm glad I took that opportunity to hit him with the TV back in December. Unfortunately, it's going to be at least 2 months before I am able to even touch a ring, so it's going to be a bit, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to be here at Dreamwave. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be sitting at home and just wasting my time on my couch. I'm going to still be working, because when I come back, I am coming back with a theory, and we're just going to have a whole hell of a lot of fun.
There you are. As we see, the healing process has already begun. Matt's on the crutches, so we'll see him back here real soon. Best wishes, Matt, and we'll see you on Prelude here very soon.
Thank you.
All right, well, tough break for Matt, man. He won the Rising Star Battle Royal. He had some good momentum going, on his side, but it's not ballet, as they say. Injuries happen. He unfortunately hurt himself over Izawa. Izawa's kind of like a sister promotion, kind of to Dreamwave. A lot of guys come through there, so tough break for Matt, man. Hope to see him back by the summer. And hopefully we can see him continue to climb up the Prelude power rankings. Now, speaking of the power rankings, man, let's check in here. Let's see what's going on in the power rankings now. Here's what you're looking at right now, the Prelude power rankings after Volume 6. Now, Volume 6 showed us Jackson King coming up with that second win. He got a win over Nick Kolanowski, and then also making a debut onto the Prelude power rankings, Anakin Murphy with a big win over Bowman. So these guys, Jackson moves up. He is just under Sean right now, moves into second place, and looking forward to that match on Volume 8 for Sean and Theseus.
Yes,
between those guys, though, that has major implications on the Prelude power rankings. So and cool to see Anakin debut and get that win over Bowman and insert himself into the Prelude power rankings. So things are starting to shape up. Like I said, this is the first episode of season 2, so these rankings are just going to start to evolve as we head on into later in the season. So excited for that, man. Excited to see the Prelude power rankings filling up there. So all right, let's talk about tonight, man. Tonight's match, we got a 6-man scramble for you. This match was recorded at Dreamwave Wrestling's Livin on a Prayer at the KC Club in LaSalle, Illinois. Jordan Cross is back. We haven't seen him in a little while. He's back trying to get that second win, move his way up. And he's jumping in there with actually 5 other guys that are going to debut on Prelude tonight. Now, not necessarily guys we haven't seen before. Cody Kaiser, Florida Man, their former guest on the podcast. Go check those interviews. Florida Man, coming off an injury, he's trying to work himself, back into into the main roster. So we see him here on Prelude. So anybody that's ever seen a main roster show for Dreamwave will be familiar with Florida Man. So tonight's 6-man scramble is brought to you by us, the Sit Down Marks podcast. Make sure you guys go check out the podcast anywhere you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, all those podcast platforms out there. So we really, really do appreciate it. And head on over to sitdownmarks.com. You might have already came over there to check this show out. So make sure you subscribe and everything while you're here, and really do appreciate it. So, all right. With that being said, Primo, let's get this thing going, man. It's time to meet our competitors tonight in the Dreamwave Prelude Scramble match.
It's been a minute since you've seen me. Last you saw me, I took Jackson King's head off for my first win at Dreamwave. Tonight, I'm in the scramble match, and the result will be no different.
Ladies and gentlemen, your resident rock star has arrived to Dreamwave Prelude. Tonight, I'm looking to go to that ring. I'm running this scramble, and I'm looking to rise up in the ranks here at Dreamwave. You might as well get used to this space. Might as well buckle up and enjoy the ride, because 2026 is going to be the year of the Rockstar Rhapsody, Eeyore St. Clair.
Whoa, hey, what's up, my dudes? It's your local surfer, Trent Wrigley. I'm new to these parts, so I'm just gonna make this short and sweet. I am a local surfer from the Midwest. I've surfed any wave that is on Lake Michigan, and I've come here to Dreamwave to surf the waves I dream of. This is my first match, so anything can happen in the water, dudes. So I hope to see y'all this year, and keep surfing some waves.
I am the unbreakable Xander Pride, and the first time you saw me, I was in the Rising Star Battle Royal back in October. And tonight, I have an opportunity to show everyone what I'm capable of. So I'm entering in the pre-show scramble match. So send 4, send 5, it doesn't matter, because I am Xander Pride, and I don't break.
Cody Kaiser here, and boy, do I have a deal for all of you. I am the man of the people, the man with the deals, and America's #1 pro wrestling pitchman. Tonight, I go out there into that scramble and make 1, 2, 5 deals against my competitors. And when I win, I get to rise up in the ranks and bring my deals to all of you.
And it has been 7 long months that I was on the shelf, but this past December, I made my glorious return to Dreamwave Wrestling. And after tonight's pre-show match, it'll be no time at all before I'm back on the main card where I belong.
All right, there we go. Big opportunities to get on and or move up in the power rankings. So big 6-way scramble here. I'm excited for this one, man. Let's find out and see what happens. If you guys are ready, it's time. Let's go to the ring.
Let's go. Here it is, folks. As mentioned before, this is a 6-way scramble. Of course, we got Punk Rock, Prince, Jordan Cross, Eeyore St. Clair, Trent Wrigley, Xander Pride, Cody Kaiser, and Florida Man. Now, right away, they're all getting after each other here. We got Cody Kaiser hitting Xander in the corner, Yori St. Clair on the ground going to the outside, and you have Florida Man hitting Jordan over there in the other corner.
Jordan looking for that second win. We saw him get a win back on Volume 2.
Check out this face-off real quick. These
Florida
two look like
man,
they're
Trent
staring each
Riggles.
other down, yeah.
Oh, Cody from behind.
Cody was having none of that. He was saying, you guys in your Hawaiian shirts don't need to talk to each other today.
Oh, man. Xander sends Jordan right down to the mat. Oh, huge spine buster sends the rock star
Holy
St.
cow.
Clair down.
Just muscling everybody around. That was a human
Not a way if
body.
you want to serve.
Wow.
Throwing a human at a human.
Down goes
Xander
Florida Man.
Pride. Rookie out here making a statement. He's coming to take the scramble over.
Wow, with
Oh.
the tabletop, they finally toppled Xander.
A little double team. Man, big knee from Cody. Not a very good deal there for Xander. Pride's shaking it off, though. Pride's already back up.
Sneakily over here, Jordan has Florida Man in the corner as well.
Big stomp from Jordan. I think Cody's regretting that knee.
Sure is. Xander's chasing him around the ring now.
St. Clair. Wrigley, big sling blade there by Trent Wrigley, making that Prelude debut. Surfs up out here surfing the Dreamwaves tonight.
Surfing those
big
waves
senton.
of his dreams, like he said. Oh, we got something here from
Florida
Florida
Man, though. Florida Man said, no. Let me show you how to do it, kid. This is how we do it. This is how we
Let me show you how it's done, he says.
Hanging 10 on Jordan.
Must be how they do it in Florida.
Exactly. That's how we surf in Florida. Trent's like, this is how we surf in California. We're better.
Right. They seem to have a little bit of a dispute here over the who has the best waves.
Jordan stepping in the middle, gets out of the way though. Big neck breaker.
Neck breaker into a DDT combo.
St. Clair back in the ring. Nice little enziguri sends Jordan to the outside.
Xander back up. Watch out.
Black hole slam.
Wow, shades of abyss there.
Xander Pride impressive in tonight's scramble. Cody getting back in. Goes to the eyes maybe.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, sends him down. Cody's got
Cody-
center of the ring.
Yeah, he's not going to win anybody over that way.
Oh,
He took his
unprettier.
eyes off of Trent for just too many seconds there. Oh, but he gets out of the ring. Oh, what's this? What's behind him? Florida Man. He's got the lawn chair. In the
Oh,
back. Down goes Trent Wrigley. He's setting up the lawn chair. Looks like he might have a seat. No, there it is.
Wow.
It is going to be over after this, folks.
wow.
There goes Florida Man taking himself a little leisurely sit, crossing
Just
the
take a
legs.
seat.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, man.
Yeah, welcome back, Florida Man, and in a big way, man. He comes back basically the way that he left, and I don't think he was too happy with somebody that's trying to represent that they're from the beach, like Florida Man is. But what are your thoughts on that scramble, Primo?
That was actually, we had a lot going on there between Cody and Xander. Xander chasing him around the ring. Xander was pretty impressive there, showing them he was indeed unbreakable. I'd say the only time really they got over him was that tabletop there. Florida Man, Trent Wrigley, those two faced off at first. Looked like they might have had an alliance going, maybe having a Hawaiian shirt off contest. But then it came down to who surfed the best, who had the better waves. Then it obviously, you saw the end there. Florida Man had to show him how it goes.
All right, and our Prelude cameras were able to catch up with Florida Man right after the match. Let's see what Florida Man had to say.
As if there was any doubt, your winner of the Dreamwave Prelude Scramble match is none other than the Florida Man. And I know some people are probably mad about the way I did it, especially Trent Wrigley. But here's the thing, Trent. Dreamwave isn't big enough for the two of us. And if you'd like to do something about it, I will gladly show you why the Gulf of Mexico is much, much nicer and better than the West Coast.
Yeah, how about that, man?
Fighting words.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think this is done yet, though. So
No.
yeah,
No.
we'll have to see how this all comes back. But hey, Florida man, he's back with a chair and a vengeance this time. So
Already 1-0 on our power rankings right away.
yeah, jumps right in on the power rankings, man. Yeah, pretty wild, man. Pretty wild. But happy to see him back. This guy's very popular in Dreamwave Wrestling, so glad to see him back from injury for sure. All right, man. That's going to do it for Dreamwave Prelude Volume 7. Let's talk about what's coming up in Volume 8. Going to be dropping in a couple weeks. We're going to be talking anniversary matches. And we're going to check in with the updated power rankings since Florida Man has now inserted himself into the power rankings. And
how quickly it changes.
Yeah, man.
Constant.
And we're finally going to be talking about, we're finally going to get to see the match between Sean, Logan, and Theseus.
Finally.
Yeah, Theseus asked for the match. Prelude Management had granted him that match, and Sean's happy to have it. So could be a little weird shift in power rankings there.
Absolutely.
There. So yeah, we'll have to see. Well, you can be able to find all that on sitdownmarks.com. Make sure you subscribe at sitdownmarks.com. And don't forget the latest Dreamwave show, Living on a Prayer, is available right now on IWTV. Make sure you come and witness. If you've never been to a Dreamwave show in person, you got to, at least one. Come on up to LaSalle. Great places to eat, great lodging, the best independent wrestling in the nation. So excited for that, man. And so come on out, check out Dreamwave Wrestling here. All right, I am DB. That is Dylan. That is Primo. We are the Sit Down Marks podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Volume 7 today. Hope you guys enjoyed the scramble match from Livin on a Prayer. And thank you guys for your continued support as we continue to showcase the stars of tomorrow in Dreamwave Wrestling. We're going to get you out of here on the way that we know how with some picks from Dreamwave's Living on a Prayer. We'll see you guys next time as we showcase the stars of tomorrow in Dreamwave Wrestling.